conservative who carries the message of the Republican Party with great pride and enthusiasm and great intellect. It's my pleasure to introduce to you our candidate for Congress, Bev Goldstein.
So I want to go back to issue 1 real quick, and that is, I thought, well, as a candidate for Congress, I should do my part in supporting vote no on issue 1. So my whole campaign is doing a lot of things, but Twitter's amazing, okay? In 77 days on Twitter, I went from 40 followers 2 years ago to 10,000 followers. That's pretty good. But I have some bad news about Twitter, and that is, I decided after posting a message saying that we wanted to support the vote no on Twitter, I put out a tweet that asked everybody to watch Maureen O'Connor's video and read Jim Renace's piece, because I felt that those 2 documents covered it so perfectly that I didn't need to ramble on that issue. So I posted the tweet. Then I thought, well, I need to do more than that. I need to boost this tweet, because if you boost a tweet, it always stays at the top of your Twitter. So I thought, $50, I'll put it up there. I'm not a big spender because the campaign has not raised a lot of money. And it's up for a day or 2, and all of a sudden the tweet gets a message that says, this tweet is under review, and we will let you know, I couldn't open the phone, but we'll let you know in a few days whether we're going to continue promoting the tweet. So I wait, every day I keep looking at it, every day the message is the same. And then all of a sudden, one day Michael, my husband, comes up and says, well, you got an email from Twitter. They're canceling that promotion.
Isn't that something?
Well, they didn't say whether they're giving me my $50 back. But this is more California in our lives, right?
Right.
So I just wanted you to know, as a candidate for Congress, I felt I had a little way, with a little bit of money, to do something on behalf of this issue, and got shut down all the way from California. I want to tell you who I am. I'm Beverly Goldstein. Michael and I live in Beechwood. We'll be married 50 years at the end of the year. We met at Michigan State University, and recently we attended a wedding of our nephew there in Lansing, and we got to go back to all the places where we had met each other, so it's kind of cool. I decided to run against my opponent, Marsha Louise Fudge, 2 years ago, because she sucks. She voted for the Iran deal. Anybody know how many Jewish people live in District 11? It's 10% of the district. 68,000 people. 68,000 people asked our Congresswoman not to vote for the Iran deal, and on September 10, 2015, she voted on 3 bills for the Iran deal. So was our Congresswoman in Washington for her friends or for her constituents? So I thought I could take that message to the inner city and really impress people in the inner city. Look what our Congresswoman did. So the first thing I learned when I went into the inner city to tell everybody about this horrible vote was, Miss Goldstein, you're really a nice lady, but what's the Iran deal? That was a wake-up message. Guess what? Things in the inner cities, and Akron is not quite as impacted as Cleveland and East Cleveland, are terrible. And the conditions are not getting better. Black unemployment is higher than it's ever been in the country before, but not in our communities. Cleveland is the 4th poorest city in the state of Ohio and in the country. East Cleveland, out of 247 cities, is the poorest city in the state. So out of 32 communities, cities, townships, and villages, my district has 2 of the poorest cities. Has my Congresswoman ever shown up anywhere? Does she care about any issue? Councilman in the city of East Cleveland said when the city was going into default, they asked her and people in her office to come to a meeting. She did not show up. I have been going with Michael into the inner city for 3 years. We love these people. We believe that we can help these people, and this is the news. You can't bring any more job training into Cleveland and East Cleveland until you bring in literacy plans. 66% of adults in the city of Cleveland are illiterate, and 83% of the adults in East Cleveland are illiterate. In some of the neighborhoods in Cleveland, the illiteracy rate is up to 97%. These aren't my statistics, these are from studies. You also have Project Learn here in Akron, and the statistics aren't a whole lot better. They look at level 1 reading. The statistics on Cleveland and East Cleveland included level 1 and level 2. My first initiative in going to Congress is to make sure that President Trump understands that we cannot begin this inner city revitalization until we put literacy programs in the local communities. And those programs need to be tied directly to job training programs. And those job training programs need to be tied directly to jobs. So when we ask people to get on that ladder and start walking with us and becoming a person who can take care of themselves, that there isn't any falling through the cracks once they get through the process. There's a lot to do. We focus a lot on issue 1 tonight. My job in Congress will be to build that wall, to make sure illegal immigrants are coming no more, to deport people who are dangerous. I also am a firm person against UN refugee resettlement. We have significant issues with that in Ohio and Toledo and Columbus especially. I will change Northeast Ohio if I can get to Congress. I will be in my communities. I will be engaged with all my cities. When I went to meet with the city council, I met with everybody, not everybody, I met with the city council people or introduced myself to the city council people in all 32 communities. The people in Bath told me they had never seen our Congresswoman. Well, that's a rich community. Why didn't she show up there? She shows up nowhere. I will be everywhere I can be. My husband has been a wonderful, wonderful help in this campaign. If you can help donate to my campaign, I really desperately need to raise about $4 more thousand between now and next week. So I know no one else has asked for money, but I am asking for money. Most of you don't live in my district, but for the few of you that do, I would appreciate your vote. If you live near my district, please take a lawn sign so that people who come in and out of the district see it. I have been a partner with Brian Williams in Summit County, whereas my Congresswoman has never been here. In 3 years, I have been here a lot. So I will be considering my job to be as important in Summit County as it is in Cuyahoga County. Thanks very much.